Hello to the wonderful Dynamics 365 and Power Platform community. Here, as promised, we are starting in February the great series and a great tool, Power of Field Service. We recently completed a learning around sales insights. Since field service is a mammoth of a topic, I needed support. So let's welcome the surprise and a great expert from our D365 champs, Vivek. He's a business application solution architect, practice head, and one of our champs leads. He's going to support me all throughout the journey as and when required to give a lot of insights on the great addition in the Dynamics 365 family from Microsoft. He has a lot of background with field service as well. So over to you, Vivek. Power of field service, you're going to join me in on this journey, right? So over to you before we continue forward.
Thank you, Deepesh, for calling me on such a wonderful sessions and one of my favorite kind of modules, or you can say the topics where I would like to speak, field service. Thank you once again. So we can quickly move on to the next things.
Sure, let's move forward.
Hello everybody. So in case you want to learn alongside me and want to, learn via the YouTube medium or videos, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel Power of D365. You have the QR code right above me on the screen. Season 2 is going on for my podcast Power Advice, a lot of Power Platform Dynamics 365 learnings and life learnings, and a lot of guests coming in this particular season. You can subscribe to that second QR code, and that's where it gets published. The blog, Dynamics of dynamicscrm.com, almost close to 450 blogs at this stage across ninth year running. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn for professional networking and follow my tech tweets and power shots on Twitter as well. So let's get going now.
So now we will talk about the introduction to field service. We will even go before it was called field service. Vivek, since you have been one of the subject matter experts who has been doing it even before it was a Microsoft product or offering, please, if you can throw light on that, and then we'll introduce our viewers and learners about field service. Over to you.
Right, Deepesh. So before Dynamics 365 Field Service as an offering from Microsoft, it was a kind of add-on which was provided as a feature, or it was kind of third-party add-on which was built by Field One Sky as a separate company that used to work well within the Dynamics as a single application. It also had the mobile application to support the field service guys, which was based on a RESCO. For a couple of years that worked well. Then Microsoft acquired the Field One Sky as an add-on. Then it worked with RESCO as a mobile app. Later on, after a few years, Microsoft gone into a next level. It completely built the field service or the field sky capabilities within Dynamics itself and offered a new module which is nowadays as a field service. And that is a Dynamics 365 field service. Now, what we get with Dynamics 365 field service as a application or the feature. So what we have here, there is a complete workflow automation engine behind this. You get a complete different mobile app which can be used by the field service persons who are going on the field and working on the task assigned to them. So this is what about the field service. If you look at the dashboard which shows you different kind of colors and beautiful dashboards, there is another pane as well where it shows a bit of what kind of mobile app that is provided on the mobile side of the application. Now, what are the different industries where we can use or we can leverage the field service capabilities? First, a manufacturing industry. Say we are into medical device manufacturing company where we develop or design the medical equipments. We sell it to the multiple kind of channels or the multiple institutions where this will be used. Now, if there are any kind of issues or service related queries, these manufacturing industries can use field service as the solution to provide the services. The utilities industries like your telecom industries or the broadband kind of or kind of TV industries where they go and provide the services like installation or providing any kind of other supports. So that kind of utility industries use this particular services. Another big set of industry which uses these services or these modules is the healthcare, where the healthcare workers who actually goes to the doors of the patients or this or say any kind of people who require the healthcare services like your they are going to go and taking the blood samples that kind of things, so that healthcare industries are very well using these solutions. Another industries which are into equipments or say electronics, electrical kind of companies who provides a doorstep services to their customers for the equipments they have purchased or sold. So we have found so many of such companies using this field service as a solution for their day-to-day activities. Now there is another thing which is coming up, like government institutions or the public sector departments. They are using field service as one of the good offerings for their services, like their cleaning or say water management or electricity management. These kind of departments are using field service solution as their provided solution. And some of the transport companies where they actually go and provide the vehicle services or say on a rents or anything, they are using field service to track uh, their force on the field. So
Yeah.
that's how the things are.
So
Yep,
these
Vivek.
are these are some generic examples, and many times people are wondering where it is used. Since both of us have been in individual capabilities as well as along with team implementing a lot of scenarios, I would also like to add few examples. I would come back to you on one thing. Like the idea of the series is also to tell real world scenarios. So in one of the recent examples that I remember, there was a ATM maintenance company in one of the parts of the world. So ATM maintenance is pretty critical job, and normally it is liaised through somebody else. So the bank will not directly maintain it. There is a set of providers who is gonna maintain it. So this is kind of a critical industry. Similarly, we did it for public sector and with my team, which is to do with disaster recovery services. Now, when it is a time of disaster, we want to clearly get to the site. We cannot really wait for a long time. Another example that I would want to add in terms of industry is, let's say you are let's say you are a public department, let's say water department of a country, of a state, and you want to take different samples of water. So there are a lot of heterogeneous kinds of examples, scenarios where at least I, in my capacity, have deployed field service. And Vivek, I'll come to you about the challenges because, as far as I remember, and this is a good point for the community to know, you are one of the first people in Asia to implement field service or
Yes,
even be
yeah.
involved with the pre-sales. Yeah. So let's hear that as an example as well, because these kinds of examples are really going to add value to anybody who's trying to learn or implement it. If you're a partner coming in, or if you're a consultant, or if you're even from Microsoft, right? So if you want to throw light on that, because I know as a fact that you are one of the first persons in at least Asian continent to be doing this. So please share that example as well with the audience.
Right, Deepesh. So the first project which we had got on a field service, that was for a shipping industry, which used to provide services to the ships. They used to sell out the parts like safety equipments to the shipping companies, like their life boats, life jackets, or they used to go and install radar kind of equipments on the ships. Now what happens with that kind of industry? They need a kind of robust solution that works well with the offline things, because when they go deep into ship, we never finds a network. So that's where we had kind of proposed this solution, which has very good capabilities of going offline and using the complete work orders, providing the supports. Also, they had implemented there was a backend as a ERP as well, where inventory was done. So all that kind of things were very well worked for that shipping industry, and it was very much a good example of where we had used the field service. That was one of the first field service projects in actually Asia, you can say, right?
Right. Thank you for adding that example, Vivek. So since it's introduction, we are not going to get into the nitty-gritties. As you talked about inventory management, I think in the coming few things, we are going to discuss different things that are available as feature. This is introduction volume. Then the volume one, we are only sharing that relevant information. But this time in our this particular YouTube series, we are going to deep dive around scenarios as well. That's a differentiator because I now have a SME or a subject matter expert working alongside me on the series. So we are going to talk about key capabilities next. What are the key capabilities of the product? And again, we are going to stick to high level introductions. Yes, as the volumes progress, we are going to deep dive. You will have to subscribe to our channel, keep following this, and continue to learn alongside and share comments as we go. so that we can tell you the most relevant areas and if you have any queries around. So key capabilities, I will start with one. The key capability that I really like is work orders. Everything around field service revolves around this wonderful thing, which is work order. What is a work order? Anything, any job that I'm trying to do on site, that is basically work order. I will pass it on to Vivek for other things such as asset inventory management. He just mentioned it about the real scenario that he handled it. So and other key capabilities. Yeah, over to you,
Right.
Vivek.
So if I have to start with the key capabilities, Deepesh, resource management, I think this is the heart of a kind of field service. Without resources, you cannot have field service as in your mind. As you rightly said, work order is the part and the major part of your field service. So the key capabilities, we can start with the resource management where you can go and identify the resources, define different type of resources with their capabilities, skills, and so many or more. We'll get into a deeper dive in, as Deepesh said, in the next series. Then comes to the work orders. That can be work orders can be for a service, that can be for actually providing these sales kind of capabilities as well, because you can convert work orders from so many different places. Then field service also provides you a different feature like asset management as well as the inventory management. As I said, there is an inventory management module that we can go and integrate with ERP, and actual inventory with the ERP with our warehouse can be tracked within Dynamics itself. So that asset management as well as the inventory management that is there. The another good feature which field service provides is the time tracking, where we can go and track the time that has been spent over the tickets or the work orders by the resources, and that time could be a billable time, it could be a kind of a spend time, and also that time tracking is a key feature again. Then it has the billing capabilities so that you can actually go and identify what kind of bills or the invoices to be raised. Now that billing can have the services provided as well as the products sold, or anything like my time spent and all. So that billing capabilities are there, that again can be integrated with the ERP for further processing of the invoices and all. And there are so many other different features which are available with the field service, which we'll get into in a deep dive sessions for field service.
Now, this one is field service roles. I was just about to pronounce field security profiles, right? I've been doing some lot of work around that, so pardon me for that. The idea of doing field service roles, I really like this part because it is very important on any field service implementation to clearly understand what are these different roles, and these are product jargons. Are they? Are they security related? Or are they really important for your implementation? Yes, they are, because in different industries across implementation, what we see is in a particular industry, you might call somebody as an operation user, but we will need to know what the equivalent field service role has to be, right? So it is very important to understand this in the introduction. What are these different roles? The one that I am going to pick is dispatcher. What is the job of a dispatcher? I will do just a one-liner. I will again leave it to Vivek to detail this out. But dispatcher is somebody who decides which is the technician or which is the particular on-site resource, as Vivek said about resource management, who is going to be scheduled on a particular work order. That person, it might be operations user or whatever, in terms of field service roles, will be a dispatcher. Over to you, Vivek, about other roles.
Right. So the process actually starts from the customer service agents who actually receives these queries or the inquiries or the service request for providing the services. So customer service agents are the persons who collect all these requests, convert them into a case and then into a work order if really required. Now, what comes to the second role, which is service managers. Now, the service managers, they are majorly a kind of managerial people who actually track the performance of the people. That could be dispatchers, that could be field technicians or the service agents. They analyze how the efficiency of people with the current scenarios, how it can be increased, and uh, they can go and standardize the process to improve that particular scenario as well. Now, as Deepesh said, the dispatchers is a critical role who knows all about all their resources, who are on the field or they are available or not, where the skill sets. So dispatchers are responsible for allocating the work orders or the task to the field technicians, which is the next role, or the resources. They are the persons who go and allocate the kind of equipments or any kind of groups, or if they want to go and allocate these particular tickets or the work orders to a separate set of a group, so that dispatchers have the critical role in defining. Field technicians, now field technicians are the actual resources who goes on the field, provide the services, close the tickets, or they come up with the feedbacks like, okay, if it is required to have any other kind of services to be provided. So field technicians are the end people who work with the customers. And there is another role which is inventory managers. As we recently saw, there is an inventory as a complete module. So inventory managers are the people who actually sits at the store level, you can say, and they go and look at the inventory, like what kind of inventory for the products or the parts or these services which we provide or the equipments, how the inventory is there, if it is required to procure some more inventory, or if that particular parts can be provided or not. So that field, that kind of features are provided with the inventory managers. So these are the different roles which field service majorly has. There are so many other roles, but these are the main five roles with the field service.
As I have mentioned, learning should be fun. And in this series, where me and Vivek are sharing a lot of insights on field service for you guys, you will enjoy some goodies also from our end. So, if you want to enjoy that goodie, what is the way? If you have learned alongside me and Vivek on this particular volume 1 introduction to the great field service app from Microsoft, you need to tell me which of the following is a key entity within the Dynamics 365 field service app. And here are your options. How you want to answer back? There are two ways. Either you drop me a note, and or you can scan the QR code towards the right hand side of your screen, and that will make you tweet back to me an answer. So you just need to tweet back the option to me. It is open all through this week till we enter the volume 2. You're going to get a cool goodie if you are one of the winners, for sure.
Thank you, Vivek, for taking the time out. It takes immense amount of effort as always. And since you had a lot of background with this, and I needed somebody alongside, and sometimes the bandwidth constraints arise for all of us. So thank you for sharing your knowledge with the community today. And I hope this is a good start of you to be able to share this on a regular basis. So please go forward with your thoughts on this.
Sure, Deepesh. It was actually a long pending thing for me. You had actually reached me so many times that we shall go and do some sort of these things together. Thank you. And sorry you had to wait a lot more time to bring me over here. But yes, we'll really go and give some good insights on field service and the capabilities, and hope that has been liked by the people. Thank you,
Yeah.
Deepesh.
Thank you to you, Vivek, more than to me. I keep on doing it. This time, what's going to be different for the series folks who are seeing this particular video? First of all, you have almost 13, 14 years of experience on top of mine experience. So that's going to add a lot of value. We are going to make sure in this series, what's different is we're going to present you scenarios as well when we talk about things rather than just talk about theoretical concepts. And demonstrations might become more relevant, right? So please do
Yes.
subscribe to the channel, and Vivek is going to be there alongside for the entire coming 2 to 3 months with us, delivering this wonderful content on field service. Also, to add to the fact, Vivek, this was something which was raised at D365 Champs almost 6 to 8 months back. We all are constrained by bandwidth. If you would not have come forward, I would have taken another 3 to 6 months to think about this, right? Because you know how big a field service configuration is, right? You do so much of it, and we implement so much of it. It takes a lot of time. So thank you for coming forward, so that this content is delivering to the community in really quick time. So thank you for supporting me on this particular series, and all 365 as usual.
Or Trishwang as well.
Again, before I am summarizing this particular volume, all the ways to connect with me, please feel free to reach out through any of the mediums, and let's increase the size of our team Power of D365. Power 365 as usual, guys. Stay safe and keep learning.